Welcome back once again to Danny's Media. Now, ladies and gentlemen, allow me to begin this update by asking you people this simple question. Between the death of 12 people being killed illegally alongside one supermarket being set on fire during a protest, which one can you have mercy? Can you feel pain? Because during the fuel protests in the Republic of Kenya, more than 12 Kenyans were killed illegally in the Republic of Kenya by rogue Ruto police officers alongside one supermarket that belonged to Ruto, the family of President William Ruto, being set on fire. Where can you feel pain? Because during that fuel protest, there is a Kenyan citizen that was recording a video and while having mercy to the family of William Ruto after the supermarket of Ruto was being burned. Surely.
Hey, hata kama ni maandamano hapana. Hii ni mali ya mtu mnaharibu hapa surely. Mbona? Oh yeah. Hata kama ni ya Rachel Ruto. Ni yake lakini hadi sasa hivi bana. Iko vijana wengi sana walikuwa wakifanya kazi hapa. Sasa hii wako kazi. Niambie hata kama wajalipwa ni mapesi lipotaanza kuitisha pesa zao ama ni hii kazi kwanza itaanza kushughulikiwa shwari. Shindwe sana sisi vijana.
Instead of you gentlemen talking about Kenyans that were killed illegally by rogue Ruto police officers while trying to fight for the high cost of living, you are busy having mercy to the family that is rich. It is true that there were some Kenyans that were earning living there. It is also painful to set fire on someone's business, but sometimes you need to figure out between the life of someone and a supermarket, a business. You know, a business, you can again rebuild it later. What about the life of someone? Wale walisha kufa uwezi ukawarudisha uhai. I was shocked. The fuel prices in the Republic of Kenya have affected all Kenyans in 47 counties.
Public transport officials are fiercely fighting back against allegations that they were bought off by the state to suspend the nationwide strike. While admitting their primary demands are yet to be met, the union bosses maintain that the suspension was a goodwill gesture to give dialogue a chance even when commuters protest high fares. They have, however, issued an ultimatum to the government to meet its side of the bargain, failure to which they will paralyze transport services next Tuesday. We begin tonight with NTV's Laban Shaban.
With all due respect, we did not agree in anything.
This statement by transport sector official Kennedy Kaunda on Monday night,
the strike is still on,
gave Kenyans hope of a white smoke on the horizon regarding government's commitment to further lower diesel prices to 196 shillings.
With all due respect, the strike has been suspended.
But when they called off the strike at noon on Tuesday, some public transport operators lost faith in their leaders. They believed they had easily succumbed to government promises, some even alleging they had been compromised to abandon their protest.
Walihongwa, walienda kutetea tumbo zao. Wafanya kitu cha maana, washukisha mafuta. Kama sio hivyo, wangeacha mgomo iende hadi mafuta ishuke.
These sentiments were echoed by other operators at the Koja bus terminus in Nairobi, where many vehicles spent Wednesday idling due to a lack of commuters.
Hakuna haja ya kugoma ati siku mbili. Tena tuambiwe ati Monday ati tuingie Wednesday kazi. Wameenda wao wameshiba. Hata Karagasha alitupatiana. Juu hivyo hatukuwa tumeongea hivyo.
Maana mtu kusimama aseme watu warudi kazi kesho, anajua vile amesotiwa huko. Na mimi hapa sitasaidiwa chochote, unaona?
Similar condemnations reverberated across various matatu stages in Nairobi and around the country as operators faced resistance from passengers protesting the high cost of fuel and the resulting fares.
So tumwaambia hivi, kama hiyo siku 7 walitupea haitafaulu, si itabidi sasa sisi tuamue kivyetu, maana sisi tunafinyika.
Protesting the government's delay in convening follow-up meetings, the transport sector is pushing for a uniform gazetted price of 196 shillings a litre for both diesel and kerosene. This is in a bid to stamp out fuel adulteration.
In 5 days, we will ensure that the prices go down. And if they don't go down, we'll be back on the roads. And I don't think that's something government wants, because we have already made a statement.
Kushan Mushiri is among the representatives of public transport sector workers and owners who participated in the roundtable talks with the government to find ways of easing the cost of living. He defended their position against the backlash.
It's quite unfortunate that there are some Kenyans that are creating memes and funny jokes around our negotiations by our able leadership of the Federation. Na hatuwezi kamwe dhubutu kukua tunaonwa kando ati ndio tuharibu biashara yetu ambayo tunafanya.
Like many Kenyans, the chairperson of long-distance transport vehicles, Elijah Nyaga, sees little to celebrate from the dialogue between the government and the transport sector.
We didn't achieve anything, but again, a strong message was sent to the government that the transport sector holds a very big chunk of the economy.
The transport economy is visibly struggling, as witnessed at the tea room terminus, where matatus are starved of passengers and business remains sluggish.
Hii pesa imeongezewa kwa mafuta inatuumiza sana. Aswa madereva hakuna kitu tunapeleka kwa nyumba.
Magari tumerundi lakini abiria banda hawataki kupanda gari.
Naomba tu ateremshe. Tuko tunatembea kutoka hapa mpaka Meru na 800.
Many vehicles here are grounded for hours before filling up, as citizens increasingly despair over the harsh economic realities.
For now, dialogue is underway to address the impasse in the country as geopolitics affect different economies across the world. Laban Shaban, NTV, Nairobi.
Because you can't tell me that if you go to other petrol station and you chant two-term, utapigwa mafuta na 100 bob. No. The fuel price have affected everyone, whether you are rich or poor. Because even as we speak right now, William Samoei Ruto have addressed the issue of the fuel Mombasa after meeting the stakeholders on the sectors of fuel alongside matatu sectors. Walishalipwa, wakakuwa na meeting, waka-agree. Whereby right now, the fuel price have reduced by 10 bob. Surely. Hiyo itasaidia wananchi wa Kenya na nini?
I have directed that in the pricing cycle, next pricing cycle, we are going to further reduce the price of diesel by a further 10 shillings for the June-July cycle to help stabilize pump prices and provide additional relief to consumers. Thirdly, through the government-to-government fuel supply framework, we have secured guaranteed fuel supplies despite global supply chain disruptions, ensuring uninterrupted fuel supply availability across the country. The arrangement has stabilized. Today, I had an extensive consultative meeting between the stakeholders of the transport industry, the Ministry of Energy, the Ministry of Transport, and I have the following to say. Over the past few weeks, many families, businesses, farmers, and transport operators have felt the pain of rising fuel prices. I fully understand the frustration and the burden this has placed on households and on the cost of living across the country. As President, I want to speak to you honestly and directly about why this is happening, what the government is doing, and why we must face this challenge together as one nation. The truth is this: Kenya is facing the effects of global fuel crisis caused by the ongoing conflict in the Middle East. This is not a crisis affecting Kenya alone. Countries across Africa, Europe, Asia, and the Americas are all struggling with rising fuel prices, fuel shortages, and disruptions in supply. Since the conflict involving Iran escalated on the 28th of February 2026, the Strait of Hormuz, one of the world's most important supply routes, through which nearly 1/5 or 20% of global oil passes every day, has experienced major disruption. This has created one of the largest global oil supply shocks in modern history. Within just weeks, global fuel prices rose sharply, with increases and prices increasing by 54% for super petrol, 118% for diesel, and 126.4% for kerosene. These increases directly affect the landed cost of fuel imported into Kenya and ultimately impacted pump prices across the country. The World Bank now projects that global energy prices will rise by 24% in 2026 alone, while the International Energy Agency has warned that global market may remain undersupplied until late.
I told you here a few days ago that William Samoei Ruto ndiye alifanya juu chini to make sure that bribe how the leaders within the battle two sectors to make sure that they accept how the government want to do their business behind this fuel crisis. Saizi washa accept. Instead of us as Kenyans uniting together between one term and one term narrative to fight to save our country, we are busy defending the family of William Samoei Ruto. It is true that there are some individuals that were earning a living there, but why? Why having too much sympathy on that business? Yet other Kenyans were killed illegally. Sometimes we need to reason. It is true, you need to feel pain there, but we also need to speak on behalf of these people that were killed. Because even William Samoei Ruto, during his state visit in Mombasa County, Ruto didn't even spend too much time by speaking. He didn't even speak of some Kenyans that were killed, to be honest. Hakuongelea hiyo maneno. Ruto was silent. Sasa hii ni upuzi kabisa. Let us stop being fooled by some individual that are being paid to paint bad picture within the opposition side. When opposition leaders are trying to speak on our behalf, to fight for us, we are busy fighting them back. Why? Sumana saizi, watu wa bodaboda, the leaders within the mandatory sectors, bodaboda sectors, have been bribed already. They have accepted to work with the government now. Wakakubali mafuta yadarudi chini na 10 bob. But before that one, when Ruto was outside the country, they said that they will protest until that day that fuel price will reduce. Ukirudisha mafuta na 10 bob, diesel ilikuwa 242. Sasa hizi inaenda kuwa 230. Hakuna tofauti. Hawajatoa ile profit yao. Ile bado iko tu hapo ndani. So let us reason like Kenyans. Let us not reason like the government. Those people have money. Wewe uko hapa unapika. Hapana. Let us be careful, ladies and gentlemen. Let us meet in the next video that is going to be uploaded shortly within no time. Tuache hii ujinga kabisa. Tuache hii ujinga kabisa. Kama hao watu walishalipwa, they was paid. The person that said that with due respect, alitoka kama na smile, but during the protest he was totally angry. Even embarrassed the CS of Energy and Petroleum Opio and I. But saizi, see you in the next video. Pesa ni kila kitu here in Kenya. The problem with Kenyans is that we normally forget too fast, then we love money. If something is happening bad in this country of Kenya, tukaona pesa hivi, hiyo kitu watu tunasahau nayo. Like right now. The matatu drivers, the bosses are now enjoying good meal with the government, while Kenyans are still suffering across the country of Kenya. Surely, tukutane kwa video itakayofuata. Bye bye.